Hi, this is Carol Westcott from the Voice Within Studio. Today's technique tidbit is we're talking about onset. Onset is starting the sound, particularly on a vowel sound. And this is an issue if you have a word at the beginning of a phrase that starts on a vowel. It's really only pertaining to the beginning of a phrase. When you have a phrase with vowel sounds, in general, you'd want to be linking the previous consonant onto the beginning of the next word, but we'll talk about that in another technique tidbit. We're just focusing on how am I going to start my voice on a vowel. We have 3 different types of onsets. We have glottal, we have aspirate, and we have smooth. Why don't we start off with aspirate? Aspirate is what happens if you're sending out a little bit of extra air at the beginning, and we can hear that. So you can do putting an H in front of the vowel, so you can go ha, ha, hear the air, a little bit lower in range, ha, ha. So practice that, couple of different pitches, putting an H in front of, and try different vowels. Then we're going to look at what's called a glottal onset. That's an interesting word because you know we have an epiglottis, but the vocal cords themselves, that at a certain point in time is called the glottis. And so the old word was coup de glotte, which was French for stroke of the glottis. So you hear a noise when you do this. So the easiest way to figure out how to do a glottal onset is to go uh-oh, uh-oh, and then try singing uh-oh, uh-oh. So you can go ah, ah, or ah, ah. Try it on different notes. Try different vowels. E, E. It's a little trickier on higher notes, by the way. So this noise that you're hearing is made because the vocal cords are closed. They have this backup of air pressure and there's a big buildup, and then they pop apart and they close again, and that makes a noise. Even though it's a pretty harsh sounding onset, it doesn't really hurt your voice other than if you did it a lot. Some people use glottal onsets really a great deal when they talk. So you get people who are like, I, and then that can cause some wear and tear on the voice. And we're going to talk about how we use all of these in a moment. And then you have your smooth onset, and this one's the most tricky because with this one we don't want to hear air, we don't want to hear the H, and we don't want to hear the pop from the glottal. So my favorite way to do this is to first put a little H in front of it, ha, ha, and then less H, ha, ha, and then pretend to put the H, ha, ha. That one was better. Try this in different notes, different vowel sounds, and then think about songs that you know that start with a vowel sound at the beginning of a phrase, and then practice starting that phrase with that vowel sound and practice the 3 different kinds of onsets. Now you could already tell that the aspirate onset would be used in popular styles of music. It would be at a time when it's not very aggressive. It's very pop music sounding. The smooth onset's always used in classical singing. And there's times in popular music you'd want that onset to be pretty clean. And then the glottal onsets for something really aggressive. Like if you're really fast-moving song and it's got a lot of energy, and then you're like, I, and you really want to hit that, then you use the glottal onsets. The most important thing is that you have control, that you choose. And so that's why it's worth practicing all these different onsets in different settings. And your regular vocal exercises generally start with vowel sounds, and consonant sounds. Your Your vocal exercises generally start with consonant sounds, and I do that on purpose because it's easier to start your voice on a consonant rather than a vowel, but this is why we're practicing it. So in your homework, you're going to have some song examples and some extra work to do based off of this video. Thank you so much. This was your technique tidbit on onsets.